For the last 2 months, war has raged in the Middle East, started by a brutal attack on Israeli civilians by the terrorist group Hamas. On that day, more than 300 Israeli soldiers were killed, 900 civilians as well. More than 240 were taken hostage. In Gaza, Hamas claims nearly 20,000 people have been killed since then, but those numbers are hard to verify.
Ever since the fighting began, protesters have taken to the streets around the world. Here at home tonight, a pro-Palestinian caravan, the Anti-War Committee, drove through Minneapolis, and a progressive group called the Jewish Voice for Peace blocked the Franklin Avenue Bridge, calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. At one point, several cars drove through their demonstration. It was all sparked by a Hamas-led attack on Israel that killed hundreds of innocent people.
Now some Jewish leaders across the country are getting an inside look at that brutal attack for the first time. Danny Spiewak spoke with leaders who just watched the video. Danny?
Well, Julie and Randy, the Jewish Community Relations Council of Minnesota and the Dakotas, in conjunction with the Midwest Israeli Consulate, held a private viewing last night showing video of the Hamas attack. While the video is not being released to the public, those who've seen it say people need to know what's in it.
The October 7th terrorist attack by Hamas was the deadliest against the Jewish people since the Holocaust.
The most awful things you can ever imagine.
As executive director of the JCRC of Minnesota and the Dakotas, Steve Hunnigs helped organize the screening of a roughly 45-minute video, which included clips from Hamas's own cameras.
A beheading, evidence of rape of women who were killed. And you could just see in the room, and myself, and I was sitting next to my wife, and we were all just holding things on as hard as possible.
The small group of guests included attorney Michael Cerisi.
What I saw was horrific. It was inhuman.
The Israeli government has authorized screenings across the U.S. in recent weeks.
Bearing witness is an incredibly important part of journalism.
Jody Rudoran, editor-in-chief of the Jewish news organization The Forward, watched the video last month.
What I actually wrote about it was that, yes, we need to look at this horrific film, but you also have to look at the devastation that's happening in Gaza.
The U.S. has pledged full support to Israel, but this week President Biden said Israel's bombing campaign may be eroding international support.
I want them to be focused on how to save civilian lives. Not stop going after Hamas, but be more careful.
Yet Israel says Hamas still holds more than 100 hostages. And since October 7th, disinformation has spread online, questioning or downplaying the attack.
We're seeing it happen. October 7 denial. Well, you look at the film, you can see it with your own eyes.
Those who've now seen the video say they won't forget it.
But I think it gives a real insight into why you need to eliminate Hamas. I don't think Hamas speaks for the Palestinian people. The faster people recognize that, the faster we'll have peace in the Middle East.
President Biden's national security advisor, Jake Sullivan, is in Israel right now meeting with Israeli officials. An administration spokesperson says Sullivan asked, quote, hard questions about Israel's operations in Gaza and discussed possibilities of transitioning the war to what they're calling a lower intensity. Back to you.
All right. Thank you.